What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's we are just gonna do a riding within Singapore, and of course riding from the place that I live into the central area, and then I will show you the difference between the off-peak hour as well as the peak hour traffic. So in Singapore, riding a class 2 bike is not necessarily needed. A 2A bike will be definitely the most ideal. However, riding a class 2 bike is definitely a luxurious, and of course the comfort. Some people may actually ask me, how do you actually do lane splitting for a class 2 bike? It's huge and it's quite bulky, especially for my bike because I own an Africa Twin. So during the off-peak hours, you can see that most of the time you can actually lane split in between the lanes as well as the expressway. But during the peak hours, I will try to avoid actually lane splitting on the smaller routes. For the expressway, there isn't any problems, but I would say just do it at a slower speed or just slightly faster than the traffic. During off-peak hours, definitely more space and lesser traffic. It is easier. However, I would not actually encourage class 2 bikes like adventure bikes to actually do so, because you can see that actually the space is quite tight and you might actually accidentally hit someone else's side mirror. Of course, riding in Singapore is you can't really speed. The speed limit is around 70 to probably 90 for expressway, so most of the time you can't really speed, and there's speed cameras all over the place. Riding into this KPE tunnel is definitely hot, but all I can say that it was a good ride and enjoyable ride. Do feel free to ask me any questions or even ask me to create any content that you will like. And then of course remember to like, share and subscribe, because this will actually increase the videos of the popularity of this video, and of course it encouraged me to create more content like this. Editing the video, it is really a tough job. I took my time off to actually do this as a passion, to create contents as well as for my viewers. I love my bike ever since I rode the Africa Twin. I had definitely a 2B bike. So in Singapore, you actually need a 2B bike, a class 2B license, which only entitles you to actually get a 200cc and below bike, whereas for 400cc you need and between 200 to 400cc you need actually a class 2A bike. And of course, going through this license, you actually need to attend the courses as well as practical session before you even get your upgrade license, which is from 2B to 2A. And then eventually another year pass, that's where you can get your class 2, and class 2 has unlimited CC capped. But riding a class 2 bike is really hot during the hot days. However, riding this Africa Twin is definitely one of the most comfortable bike. I haven't tried a GS, but GSA is really too expensive in Singapore for now. For my day-to-day bike, I would think Africa Twin is really doable. Of course, I just bought this bike not long ago, and looking into it, I intend to install like side panels as well as side luggage before I actually head for longer trips. Currently, I've done trips to Malaysia, not very far. It's just before KL with my CB400X. I had CB190X, and then CB400X, and then now the Honda Africa Twin Adventure Sports. Of course, I did not get the latest model. Why I did not get the latest model is because I feel that the latest model comes with a 19-inch wheel, which have of course a lesser height clearance, but I wanted something like a taller because I'm about 1'8", 2. So a taller bike will actually allows me to have greater height clearance and of course more comfort for me. Of course, the newer bike, the latest model has a lower seat. And definitely one thing not to be missed is that the newer model, right, they do not have the white variant. So I checked with Bunsil, the only variant that they brought in is actually the metallic grey version, which I didn't really like the color, so I was like hunting around, and then I just saw this white version, which I did not miss my chance. So during this ride, the sun, as you can see, is so hot. However, I'll talk more about it in the next few minutes when I actually embark my return journey during the peak hour traffic. So let's enjoy this video and do like and share this video. So now I'm in the peak hour period. It's around 6:30, and that's where actually I pick up my girlfriend. And on the way back to our house. So apparently you can see that riding a big bike, you sometimes have a bit difficulty, especially when there's a van beside you and you're trying to actually do the lane splitting. So during the peak hour, I would actually advise bigger bikes, especially adventure bikes, to really actually avoid lane speed. I think you should assess the situation yourself. It's not that you can, but then it's just not advisable to do so because it's really quite dangerous, especially if you have a pedestrian beside you. Of course, peak hour traffic tends to be, I would say, more challenging because as a car driver, it tends to actually change lane last minute, or sometimes they even fear to check the blind spot, and that's where it comes in tricky. So most of the time whenever I try to do lane speeding, I will actually on my fog light to actually act like a secondary kind of warning to drivers, because it has yellow light, so it's definitely more visible for the driver. I myself, I am a driver as well as a rider, but ever since I started riding, I never wanted to go back to driving. You ask me why the view is different. You get a different vibe. As of course during the rainy season, then that is where the luxurious of car comes into wonder, because you will be enjoying the aircon and not getting soaked wet. However, I still love riding. It brings a different view. Of course, the danger of it, you have to assess the danger yourself. I mean, there are times when you really can speed. On the north-south highway, you can go a higher speed. But I think on the Singapore road, it's just not worth to actually speed at higher speed. Of course, my first vlog I did from Singapore to Kulai without actually any voiceover. I wanted to just let my viewers to enjoy the view of everything with the music. But this vlog I would just like to address like certain things and what am I going to do in the upcoming videos. So of course, do stay tuned and continue to like my channel. It is a new channel because I decided that I should capture everything in my riding journey, and of course I will bring you probably to like some travels around Malaysia or even Thailand, Laos or China in the upcoming probably next few years. Of course, I also have limited leave, but definitely I would like to travel around in the Malaysia side to bring good food and probably do some like recommendations or travel or even the things to do back in Malaysia. I'm not really a fan of enjoying things in Singapore just because the price are actually pricier. As you can see, probably I will do a review of my bike probably up when I installed the side panel box. I got all my things like the accessories from actually Taobao. I will share my experience with Taobao in probably at the next few videos that I have done up for you guys. Of course, you can see that as a rider, why I love it is the riding culture. You can see that the motorcycle will just wave hello to you. You know, sometimes when you're riding, and of course, you tend to look out for them and look out for each other. I think that's part of two-wheel riding culture. And that's what something I love about it is that we get to really enjoy the riding culture. Then driving is just so boring because you are just inside the enclosed space and you don't get to see the views and all those compared to as a rider. Of course, during peak hour, for example, I have myself as a rule is I'll never lane split if there is a bus or if there's a trailer that is side by side. I think this is something to take note as a rider and even as a driver as well, because they as a vehicle they have more blind spot. Yeah, and of course with that I think I will let you enjoy the video off. Of course, last but not least is do stay tuned to this channel, and of course like, share and subscribe, and see you in the next video.